That Artemis animation hits different now that they're in the air, doesn't it?
Right? Especially considering this, Adriana, with a 900-mile-per-hour engine boost, which just boggles my mind. The Artemis II mission is officially moonbound. Late last night, the crew conducted a nearly 6-minute maneuver known as the translunar injection burn. You see it underway here. It catapults the Orion capsule out of Earth's orbit and onto a record-breaking lunar flyby path. This morning, we're also hearing directly from the crew tucked inside that capsule. Here's what NASA astronaut Christina Cook said about time and space so far.
There's nothing that prepares you for the breathtaking aspect of seeing your home planet both lit up bright as day and also the moon glow on it at night with a beautiful beam of the sunset, and knowing that we're going to get similar views of the moon. I'm really excited for that.
CBS News senior transportation correspondent Kris Cleave is at the Johnson Space Center in Houston with more on all of this. Kris, Adriana just said it's amazing that they are still so stunned at these views, considering they've practiced and they're the experts.
And they've been there, except for the Canadian.
Explain what happened with this translunar injection and what the crew's doing right now.
Yeah, Errol, well, as you described, this was about a 6-minute burst from the main engine on the Orion capsule, about 6,000 pounds of thrust, which added 900 miles an hour to the capsule. That's enough to escape Earth orbit, something that humans haven't done since Apollo 17 back in 1972. So these are the first humans to leave Earth orbit in more than 50 years. So that's a pretty big deal just in and of itself. The other thing that this burn does, you'll hear it referred to as a TLI, because it's easier to say, frankly. You'll hear that the TLI sets them up on the return path back to Earth. So basically, by firing this 6-minute-ish burst of thrust, it not only sends them to the moon, but it puts them on a trajectory to loop around the moon and come back home with only minor adjustments from here on in. So not only are they on their way to the moon, they're on their way home because of this TLI boost.
Oh, that's such a good point that you made, Kris. Because they're using the lunar gravity to help loop around the room.
slingshot them back, right?
Like what happened.
Kind of a slingshot approach,
right.
Yeah.
I bring up Apollo 13 because that's what happened in Apollo 13, and it's also such a great movie. Kris, what else did we hear from the crew last night?
Well, it's the first time we've heard from them, really, since they went into space. And they talked about, they sent their best to their families, obviously. They touched on that now infamous toilet malfunction. They say that is good to go. But you don't need to hear from me. Let's hear from one of the astronauts.
I would just like to say thank you. Your support and trust in us has enabled this, and so many people that have worked for so long to make this possible. But also, we're just getting started. You know, we've worked really hard, and even though we were a little surprised to actually launch yesterday, we have a lot of mission left ahead of us. And this brought us together and showed us what we can do when we put, not just putting our differences aside, when we bring our differences together and use all the strengths to accomplish something great.
And they've got a lot of great work to do while they're on the moon. It'll be about a 4-day journey before they get there. And so they'll be putting Orion through its paces. This is a test flight, after all, the first time that humans have been in space in this capsule. So everything they're doing is a first, and will set up how things are done on future Artemis missions, including the one that will eventually land on the moon, they hope. So everything from testing the pressure suits to make sure those work in an emergency. They're going to practice CPR in space. That will be recorded and used as a training video for future missions. So busy, even as they're sort of floating through space right now, almost on cruise control, if you will. And then when they get closer to the moon, they're going to be documenting this journey because, you know, they're going to see things that the human eye has never seen before on the far side of the moon. And hopefully when they capture those images and send them home to us, we get to see some of those inspiring images, too.
Kris, I can't take all these details. I have chills. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kris.
Now let's bring in retired NASA astronaut Dorothy Metcalf-Lindenburger. Dottie, we are so excited to have you back. We spoke on Monday, a few days before the launch, and would love to just get your thoughts. What stood out to you? How do you think this mission has performed so far?
Well, I think what stood out to me is that we went on pretty much on time, right? We were coming out of the T minus 10 hold, and I, like probably many Americans, needed to just stop and watch. I had to schedule work, and so I just pulled over, and for the next about 30 minutes, I just watched. And some of that I watched holding my breath because I know how much energy is going off, and I don't ever feel super comfortable until I see main engine cutoff. But it was a beautiful launch, and seeing all the people that were there to watch in person, and then just knowing as I was texting people across the literally the world. I had a young woman I was texting with also over in Europe, but just around the world on my impressions, and it was so beautiful, and I was so glad to go see it go safely.
And Dottie, I know you and these crews, you train for these scenarios, but one of the things I've not really considered is how the heck do you sleep in space with so much excitement, with an unusual, environment around you? We heard from one of the astronauts about their sleeping arrangements. Let's quickly play a clip of that.
Sleeping here is it's actually sort of comical. Christina has been sleeping heads down in the middle of the vehicle, kind of like a bat suspended from our docking tunnel. Victor's been up where Jeremy is right now. He's got a nice little nook wedged in there. And then Jeremy has been stretched out on seat 1, and I've been sleeping under the displays just in case anything goes wrong. It's more comfortable than you would think.
These are not luxurious sleeping accommodations. Just a couple quick questions, because you're also fascinating because you're a high school science teacher turned astronaut, so you know how to explain this to the layman, the rest of us. You had to sleep on the International Space Station. How the heck do you do it, and can you smell each other in space?
Oh.
Well, I'll first address sleep and then I'll talk smell. But so actually found sleep really relaxing, even like they were explaining with Christina hanging down. I tried to sleep in many different places. Why not, right? And sleeping on the ceiling, do things that are different. And you kind of make a ritual just like you do here on Earth to quiet yourself down. Put in some tunes. Back in the day, we used the little iPod, and I don't know what they're using today, but put in some tunes, put my sleep mask on, and I just fell asleep very peacefully. I've never slept so well because, again, you don't have any pressure points on your body. So, yeah, it feels wonderful to me. And then we don't need quite as much sleep when we're in space because we're not literally working against gravity, right? And so I felt like every day I just kind of naturally woke up just before our alarm, which I was having fun seeing that they're still doing fun wake up music, and that's part of tradition too.
So what happens if someone snores? And also the smell question.
Great question. I wore earplugs the whole time, or those earbuds, but I also had earplugs nearby if I woke up and then needed to change it. So I didn't I don't even remember waking up in the middle of the night. Folks that said they did said that we look like Frankenstein, or like some creature because our arms float out in front of us. So yeah, we're like kind of creepy. And then as far as smell, well, I think because we're around each other, I didn't ever notice our smells. We had, of course, fresh air coming and forced in. When we did float into the International Space Station, I thought, oh, it does smell a little bit like a laboratory, like I would think of a chemistry laboratory back here on Earth. But then within a few hours, you don't notice it. So
I love these details.
Yeah, so you,
Dottie, thank you.
Thank you so much. Always great to get insight from you on this.
Keep watching.
Yes, we will.
Thank you. Keep watching.
Enthusiasm is infectious.